pull her away gently or get involved in the conversation. But the most important thing is don't create confrontation during the situation, and afterwards bring it to your wife or your husband in a non-attacking way. Hello guys, how are you doing on this wonderful afternoon? You might see that we are in a sunny location. Yes, we're on holiday, and you might notice this beautiful lady next to me and wonder, who is she? Some of you die-hard followers might realize that she has been in my videos before, but not in this capacity. We were friends before, but now we're actually a married couple. Yeah, plot twist. So this is my lovely wife, Taryn. So welcome, Taryn.
Thank you.
And really, I wanted to bring her on this channel because we have been thinking for a while to try something new with the content. Taryn and I, through our relationship, have found that we have a real passion for speaking into couples' relationships, whether it be dating, whether it be marriages, and we've had so many experiences thus far that have given us the opportunity to speak into those issues that couples are facing. And so as a result, we thought, why not share this online? We want to get an idea of what you guys feel about this content, if you find it useful. So please do leave it in the comments, guys, if you are finding this content useful. This video is going to be a quick one of a little bit of advice that was inspired by experiences that we had. So we were invited to quite a few gatherings, weren't we?
Yeah.
And at those gatherings, we basically observed some issues that came up with us as a couple that we had to speak through. And basically, so to get to the point, this video really is going to be about what are those challenges you face as a couple when you're at gatherings, when you're at parties, that you just need to be aware of, and how do you work through those things. So to give you context, it might be jealousy. So times when you feel jealous and how you deal with that, and also protecting yourself as a couple. First point is, sorry, nose itch. The first point is, guys, know that jealousy is normal. Now this isn't only for guys, of course, girls too. We all get jealous at times. When that little feeling comes up and you're at a gathering where you might see your girlfriend or your wife talking to someone else. So girlfriend if you're dating to get married, or wife if you're already married, and you might see them talking to another guy. That jealousy comes up and two things might happen. Attack mode, I'm gonna go and deal with this in the moment, or shame, and you might feel like, oh my gosh, why am I feeling jealous? I'm such a controlling person. With both things, try to be kind to yourself. Know that the feeling is normal, and the most important thing is to deal with it in the right way. My advice would be, in that moment, stay calm at the party. You can do things to step in. For example, put your arm around your wife, pull her away gently or get involved in the conversation. But the most important thing is don't create confrontation during the situation, and afterwards bring it to your wife or your husband in a non-attacking way. Hey, these feelings came up for me. This is where I'm at with it. How do you think that we could behave next time in order for me not to be feeling these feelings, and really have that negotiation conversation. And for example, when we were at a party once and I felt that there were certain behaviors that I felt he exerted that I wasn't comfortable with, and I explained to Taryn, hey, it's not what you were doing that upset me, but it would make me comfortable, for example, if you crossed your arms more when the guy comes close, just to show the guy that you're not comfortable with him coming as close to you. That would make me feel better. So the way that you communicate it after in a way that doesn't accuse the spouse is always preferable.
Yeah, 100% to all of that. So adding to what George is saying, basically the next step, after your spouse explains to you and tells you how he or she was feeling in that moment, I think the most important thing is just to be open to it. Because it's easy for us to come on the defense and try and say, yes, but I didn't do anything wrong. Oh no, you're just insecure, or you're you can be throwing all those things at your partner, but I don't think by doing that helps the situation. I don't think that helps your trust as a couple, because by you creating space for them to do that and to speak openly, actually tells them it's a safe space. It's okay for them to share and go there, and also it shows that how they feel matters to you as well. And I think it also indirectly gives a feel that protecting what you have matters. I think the important thing is when they come to you with that, I think really being open to it and really listening with an understanding ear. Do not make them feel not heard. Do not make less of what they're feeling or make them think they're being silly, but understand and create a safe space for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you say. And really, the goal is always, you mentioned protecting, is to protect your union and work together to do that. It's not about me protecting myself or her protecting herself. It's saying, hey, I got this feeling that could ultimately cause a divide between us or cause some kind of destruction to our relationship. How can we work together to keep the glue there? So you just explained it so beautifully, my love.
You just said something as well, doing it together.
Yes.
Remembering you're a team. It's not the one being against the other.
And the final thing that we wanted to bring up was, what was it again? Be alert. That was it. Be alert. So I'm going to share with you a story to kind of give you context about how we learned to be alert. So recently we went to a class, okay? And there was a situation where one of the people in this class was behaving in a way that was suggestive towards my wife, in a way that she felt this person had an agenda to try and bring her over. And that was a huge eye-opener to us, because we were like, oh my gosh, we thought that once you're married, that's it. Like everybody is going to understand the boundaries. Everybody's going to get that, oh, they're married, it's a no-go. But what we found is that when we are in public places and when we are socializing with people, and let me tell you, Christian or not, people are willing to cross boundaries and people are willing to go to places that are not acceptable for married couples. And so I think one of the things that comes with that is definitely being alert to the fact that just because you're married, there isn't this magical boundary, but also understanding that everyone has a different understanding of what boundaries are in marriage. So it's our job as a couple to figure out what our boundaries are and how we are going to communicate those boundaries to the other people. Because also when you're in a place like we are in the UAE, or anywhere else really, we live in such an international world. People have different perceptions of what marriage boundaries look like. And so sometimes it may not even be that they mean any harm by it, but it's that your understanding of what the boundaries look like needs to be communicated to that person. And that could be, like I said before, crossing your arms, keeping a distance, or even deciding, like with that class, we decided we're not going to go anymore. And people can say what they want. They can look and say, oh, they're being so conservative, they're being over the top. But at the end of the day, if we have that discernment, if we have that conviction, we would rather protect our marriage and be ridiculed and laughed at than go with the flow of what everyone else says. And so definitely, if you and your couple, your spouse, feel a certain way, or even if one person feels a certain way, hey, I don't feel comfortable being around this person, I don't feel comfortable being in this environment, it's going to be a negative thing for us to be consistently in this environment, then you can say, you have that conversation. And if it's one person, the other spouse needs to be willing to speak through it and understand it. And maybe it is that you're seeing things in a way that is based on your own emotions, is skewed, but that does not mean that the other spouse shouldn't give space for it to be spoken about, and you guys come to a conclusion that it's always geared at protecting your union.
Yeah. I just want to reiterate the fact that it's so important that you as a couple define what your boundaries are, because once you know, it'll make it easy to communicate that to whoever else on the other side. And yes, it doesn't have to be verbal form of communicating it, or it can be done through body language or anything, just somehow getting the message across. So I think it's so important for you and your spouse to sit down and actually, or maybe like George was saying earlier, afterwards come away from it and say, okay, so what is okay for us and not okay? So we know from this moment on, this is what we're going to allow and not going to allow. I think it's so important. Not that you can't enjoy the space that you're in, but also still, sometimes I might be missing something. I don't see it because I'm in it, in the moment. And your partner, your spouse from the outside is able to see something play out without you realizing. So I think, yeah, always be alert, always be just aware of what's happening in your environment, and be assured or know what your guys' boundaries are.
So beautifully said, and it really just wraps up those 3 points, which are to know that it's normal. Jealousy is a normal emotion, but how you deal with it matters. To always be open to your spouse's feelings of jealousy and concern and be willing to speak through it, and to be alert and know that marriage does not create this magical boundary around you that protects you. So thank you so much, guys, for listening. This is so special to us. We're creating our first ever vlog and marriage and dating advice video, and my beautiful, beautiful, wonderful wife get to debut, so everyone send your love to her in the comments. And yeah, we're gonna leave you guys now and have a little dip in the pool. So thanks so much, guys. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.